Thank you for joining us on Republic TV. It's been 3 months since the Pahalgam terror attack, ladies and gentlemen. And for the last 3 months, we've done everything from Operation Sindoor to expose Pakistan at the global stage. And tonight, as we broadcast this show, there is some, not complete, but some Pahalgam justice. The TRF, Lashkar Front TRF, that claimed responsibility for the Pahalgam attack on the 22nd of April, has now been tagged by America as a terror group, which means the hammer is going to fall harder. We focus on TRF, the Lashkar Front, to which even Pakistan is responding tonight. And on the show, also tonight, I have the entire Vadra chart sheet. It's out and it's with Republic. Here are the headlines. On This is exclusive. US officially designates terror group behind Pahalgam terror attack TRF as a terrorist organization. TRF terror trumped. India welcomes American move to list TRF as a terror group, calls it a boost to joint counter-terror efforts globally. A big win for our diplomacy. As America cracks down on TRF for its role in Pahalgam, families of the 26 victims now look to justice and the long-awaited closure. They join me live on the show tonight. As Akash Prime with indigenous Seeker is tested successfully in Ladakh, the man who led the project joins me live on the world's best mid-range missile, which is on your screens right now. Ladies and gentlemen, today marks a big breakthrough in India's fight against terror. The group behind the Pahalgam terror attack, which claimed the lives of 26 Indians on the 22nd of April, less than 3 months ago, has finally been acknowledged as a terror outfit on the global stage. The United States, which has been following this story closely, has officially designated the Resistance Front, or TRF, which is nothing but another name for Lashkar-e-Toiba, a proxy of Lashkar-e-Toiba. It's now been designated as a foreign terrorist organization by America. The TRF, which had openly claimed responsibility for the Pahalgam attack, making it the deadliest terror strike on Indian soil since the 26/11 Mumbai attack. And the move by America tonight is a significant diplomatic win for India. And as we look at the significance of this move tonight, we have two families live on the show. Survivors, eyewitnesses, family members of those who were killed in the Pahalgam attack. We speak to them after this report.
The armed gunmen you see in these clips belong to a group called the Resistance Front.
Please ask for help.
Okay, first you give the hands water, drop of water, take a drop of water, sir, please.
थोड़ा बताइए हुआ पति को मार दिया.
TRF, a Lashkar-e-Toiba proxy, has been involved in numerous terror-related activities, including the heinous attack on civilians in Pahalgam on 22nd of April 2025.
यहाँ पर थी, क्या बोलते भेलपुरी खा रही थी, मेरा पति साइड में था, एक इंसान आया, उसने उसको गोली मार दी.
यहाँ पे
उसने बोला कि ये शायद मुस्लिम नहीं है, उसने उसको गोली मार दी.
TRF also claimed responsibility for several attacks against Indian security forces, including most recently in 2024. Furthermore, LET itself had claimed responsibility for the 2008 Mumbai attacks. India has welcomed the US decision of designating the Resistance Front as a foreign terrorist organization and a specially designated global terrorist under US anti-terrorism laws. India called it a significant step in the global fight against terrorism. The MEA further noted that the decision aligns with India's long-standing call for international cooperation to dismantle terror infrastructure and the strong policy of zero tolerance towards terrorism. India has been pushing for the international forum like Quad and the BRICS to take a hard stance on terrorism by pushing for the issues of cross-border terrorism, terror financing, extremism and separatism. During SCO Council meeting of Foreign Ministers, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar stressed the importance of taking an uncompromising stance on terrorism, citing the recent Pahalgam terrorist attack.
The three evils that SCO was founded to combat: terrorism, separatism and extremism. Not surprisingly, they often occur together. Recently, we in India witnessed a graphic example in the terrorist attack in Pahalgam on 22nd April 2025. It was deliberately conducted to undermine the tourism economy of Jammu and Kashmir while sowing a religious divide. The UN Security Council, of which some here are currently members, issued a statement that condemned it in the strongest terms and, quote, underlying the need to hold perpetrators, organizers, financiers and sponsors of this reprehensible act of terrorism accountable and bring them to justice, unquote.
The terror tagging of TRF will take off the mask of Pakistan's terror ties. The attempt to hoodwink FATF authorities will no longer work.
थोड़ा बताइए हुआ पति को मार दिया.
And as you saw those images, one of the victims you saw there was Lieutenant Vinay Narwal. I have his father, Mr. Rahul Narwal, joining me on the broadcast today. Mr. Narwal, first of all, thank you, sir, for joining us this evening and taking the time out to speaking to us. Namaste.
Thank you. My name is Rajesh Narwal.
Rajesh, I'm sorry about that, sir. Rajesh.
मेरा नाम राजेश नरवाल है और हिंदी में बात करेंगे.
हाँ जी, राजेश जी, अभी ये जो यूएस का एक मूव आया है, ऑफ कोर्स इंडिया हैज बीन कैंपेनिंग अगेंस्ट टीआरएफ ऑन द ग्लोबल स्टेज. व्हाट डज दिस मीन फॉर योर फैमिली? आपको क्या लगा ये सुन के कि आज अमेरिका ने टीआरएफ को एक टैग दिया है, टेररिस्ट टैग दिया है? डज इट मैटर टू यू एंड योर फैमिली? डज इट मेक एनी डिफरेंस?
यस, जो इसको टीआरएफ को, द रेजिस्टेंस फ्रंट को टेररिस्ट टैग दिया है, तो पहले तो समझने की बात यह है कि ये जो टीआरएफ है ये लश्कर तैयबा का ही एक मुखौटा पहने हुए है. लश्कर तैयबा ही है ये.
yes.
तो इसमें इस जो ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बनाया था इसको भी डेजिग्नेटेड टेररिस्ट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन डिक्लेयर किया है. तो बहुत अच्छा किया है और ये सराहनीय काम है यूएस गवर्नमेंट का. आई डू अप्रिशिएट.
अभी 2 मिनट पहले एक स्टेटमेंट आया है, मैं आपको पढ़ के आपको सुन रहा हूँ. आई मीन आई वांट यू टू लिसन टू दिस. ये सुन के मुझे बहुत आश्चर्य हुआ. ये देखिए, ये पाकिस्तान का स्टेटमेंट ये आया है कि लश्कर एक डिफंक्ट बैंड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है और ये टेरर ग्रुप है, लेकिन ये डिफंक्ट है. क्या आप इस स्टेटमेंट से सहमत है? पाकिस्तान सेज Lashkar-e-Toiba is a defunct terror organization that doesn't exist.
Now it is not defunctional, so we cannot say it defunct. ये तो अभी भी अपने काम कर रहा है. और ये बताइए, जैसे लश्कर-ए-तौबा तैयबा ही है, उसने टीआरएफ बना रखा है, हो सकता है एक दो और बना रखे हो, अभी हमारे नोटिस में नहीं हो. तो इनफैक्ट कौन है वो लश्कर-ए-तौबा ही है, तो डिफंक्ट तो नहीं है. इसलिए मैं इससे सहमत नहीं हूँ इस बात से. तो पाकिस्तान का जो स्टेक है ये कहना है वो गलत है सर, मुझे ऐसा लगता है.
राजेश जी, ये देखिए, ये हमें ये भी आश्चर्य लगा कि इफ यू लुक एट द क्रोनोलॉजी, पहलगाम टेरर अटैक के बाद ऑपरेशन सिंदूर हुआ. ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के बाद डोनाल्ड ट्रंप का एक स्टेटमेंट आया कि सीज फायर हुआ है, मैंने बातचीत की है पाकिस्तान से और भारत से. ये जो पूरा ड्रामेबाज भी थे, जो बहुत सारा ड्रामा भी हुआ कि उन्होंने सीज फायर का ये जो फैसला किया था, उन्होंने क्लेम करने की अटेम्प्ट की थी। आपको क्या लगता है, क्योंकि आसिम मुनीर को उन्होंने इनविटेशन भी दिला के अमेरिका बुलाया, आसिम मुनीर अभी भी एक दोस्त है अमेरिका का, तो इस मूव में कोई डुप्लिसिटी लग रहा है आपको?
देखो, जो यूएस गवर्नमेंट ने जो ये डिसीजन लिया है कि टीआरएफ को, अपने आप में लश्कर तैयबा का मुखौटा पहना हुआ दूसरा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, उसको टेररिस्ट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में डाला है, तो इससे लगता है कि यूएस गवर्नमेंट ने इस चीज को मतलब माना है कि ये टेररिस्ट जो अटैक हुआ है, और उसने जो जिम्मेदारी ली थी उसी ने किया है, और कहीं ना कहीं उसके पीछे जो बात है वो आप और हम सभी जानते हैं। तो इससे आसिफ मुनीर जी के साथ उनका क्या है क्या नहीं है, इस बारे में कुछ नहीं कहना है मुझे।
सर, आपको ये भी पूछना है कि अभी आसिम मुनीर इज वेरी एक्टिव। आसिम मुनीर और पाकिस्तान का जो स्टेटमेंट आई है, दे आर ट्राइंग टू डाइवर्ट द अटेंशन, बट माय क्वेश्चन टू यू इज, एज फार एज पाकिस्तान इज कंसर्न, द TRF टेररिस्ट बिहाइंड द पहलगाम अटैक, पहलगाम में जो आतंकवादी आए थे, दे आर स्टिल अलाइव।
इस बारे में ना आप जान सकते हैं ना मुझे मालूम है, लेकिन इतना जरूर है कि हमारी सरकार इस मामले में बहुत ही गंभीर है और बहुत ही सेंसिटाइज है, और डे आफ्टर डे या टुडे या डे आफ्टर सम डेज डेफिनेटली वो पकड़े जाएंगे और सरकार उन पर एक्शन करेगी।
हाँ जी। And Lieutenant Vinay Narwal, jab, when we saw the visuals, sir, of the family and the entire country paid tribute to Lieutenant Vinay Narwal, all of us, had our head in shame that we allowed this to happen. How is your family coping with this? Unke parivar mein, how are all of you coping with this, sir?
सर, ये बड़ा इमोशनल सा क्वेश्चन है। इसमें जिसके घर में ये सब हुआ होता है, तो वो कैसे कोप अप करेगा, कोप अप करने की स्थिति में ही नहीं होता है। इकलौता बच्चा है, न्यूली मैरिड है, 5 दिन पहले शादी हुई है, 3 दिन पहले उसकी रिसेप्शन हुई है, घर में शादी का माहौल है, और अचानक इतना बड़ा पार्ट टूट पड़े फैमिली के ऊपर, तो अर्श से फर्श पे आने वाली बात हो जाती है। मानसिक तौर पे मानसिक संतुलन बिगड़ गया हम सबका। तो वी आर स्टिल इन ट्रॉमेटिक स्टेट ऑफ माइंड। तो कोप अप करने की तो कोई बात ही नहीं है, नहीं कर पाते हैं, नहीं कर पाए।
मेरा आखिरी क्वेश्चन आपसे ये है, राजेश नरवाल जी, आप लेफ्टिनेंट विनय नरवाल के पिताजी है, क्या आपके मन में ऐसा कुछ है कि हम अभी भी कर सकते हैं टू ब्रिंग जस्टिस, क्लोजर टू द पहलगाम विक्टिम्स?
देखो, जो हमारी सरकार जो है ये अपना काम कर रही है, और सरकार पर हमें भरोसा करना चाहिए, क्योंकि पहलगाम टेरर अटैक के बाद ऑपरेशन सिंदूर भी किया गया, जिससे मेरे देशवासियों को और हर सिटीजन को, इंडियन को एक सांत्वना मिली है कि हमने कहीं ना कहीं हमने टेररिस्ट अटैक जो पहलगाम में 22 तारीख को हुआ था, जिसमें मेरा बेटा लेफ्टिनेंट विनय भी शहीद हुआ है, तो उनका बदला लिया गया है। तो मेरे देशवासियों को उससे सांत्वना मिली है, क्योंकि ये दुख मेरा अकेले का नहीं रहा है, ये पूरे वैश्विक दुख है ये, और मेरे देश के हर निवासी का ये दुख रहा है। सब मेरे दुख में शरीक हुए हैं। तो एक्शन तो लिया है गवर्नमेंट ने, जो ठीक समझेगी फ्यूचर में जैसा भी होगा एक्शन ले भी रही होगी, मेरा यही कहना।
हाँ जी, राजेश नरवाल जी, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया for speaking to Republic TV. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for taking the time out and having the courage to speak. And we're getting in some more breaking news now, because we have a statement also coming in. It's an exclusive statement from the US Embassy. The US Embassy spokesperson in India, Chris Elms, has issued a statement on the American move to tag TRF as a terror group.
July 17th, the U.S. Department of State added the Resistance Front as a designated foreign terrorist organization and specially designated global terrorist. TRF, a Lakshari Taiba front and proxy, claimed responsibility for the April 22nd Pahelgam attack, which killed 26 civilians. This was the deadliest attack on civilians in India since the 2008 Mumbai attacks conducted by LET. TRF has also claimed responsibility for several attacks against Indian security forces, including most recently in 2024. These actions taken by the U.S. Department of State demonstrate the Trump administration's commitment to protecting our national security interests, countering terrorism, and enforcing President Trump's call for justice for the Pahalgam attack.
Okay, that statement came in a few minutes back from the US Embassy. Moving on to our next big story. Big moment for India, for India's indigenous capability. The Indian Army successfully tested the Akash Prime missile system, which is designed to operate in extreme cold, high-altitude conditions, especially above 4,500 meters. This specific testing was conducted at 15,000 feet. In the test carried out by the Indian Army in the Ladakh sector, the missile hit 2 confirmed kills during a test run. This advanced missile is a new variant of India's Akash missile system. It is an unmatched missile technology. It's also one of the world's best mid-range missile. I spoke to Dr. Prahalada Ramarao, who also has played a very, very big role. He was the project head for Akash missile system. He talks about how Akash Prime sets India worlds apart and why he says the entire Akash is now ours. Akash Prime is here, and we've seen the kind of comments that have been made in the last few weeks and months on the need for more and more made in India, indigenous weaponry, technology, missiles. When you look at Akash Prime, how far have we come, sir?
One thing we are very happy, and it is our strategy that when the Akash was already being used, it was given to the Indian Army, Indian Air Force, and it was showing good performance. We took the decision to do Akash Prime. That is, how do you go ahead with the improved version of Akash, better version of Akash. And this is a good strategy, that there is a possibility of continuous improvement of a product. In probably every few years we bring out a new innovation, new improvement, new software, new hardware, many things we can do. That way we launched the Akash Prime, and knowing fully well that Akash itself is meeting all the requirements, but we said let us customize for specific roles where Akash Prime will be giving a slight edge than Akash alone. So this is how we started. I am happy that it has been tested by users at the most stringent conditions, and it has worked well. I am very happy with it, and our dream, also our strategy has worked out very satisfactorily.
You spoke about the edge. How big is this edge when you have Akash Prime intercepting 2 targets at high speed successfully?
See, the edge is, there are certain geometries where, see, the Akash will be going surface to air, and the target from the adversary is flying into our territory. It can come from different azimuth directions, different elevations, and also at different speeds. This is expected Akash is anyway working. But suppose you have a hilly terrain, then naturally over certain particular azimuth and elevation, you may not be able to see the adversaries image or radar image. You can't see, radar reflection you cannot see. Then you have to require to take a very unique trajectory for that particular target. There you need a small edge so that you will go more accurately, and we may like to hand over the certain last second activities to the missile itself, instead of guiding from the ground-based radar. Normally we are guiding the missile from a ground-based radar till the missile intercepts the target and explodes the warhead so that the target gets destroyed. This is normally condition. But in the prime case, what we do is, we will allow the missiles seek the target by itself. So it will be more accurate during the terminal phase, and even though the ground-based radar cannot be seeing the target all the time, the missile will see and go and intercept. So it becomes some sort of autonomous, and there's a seeker, RF seeker to do the job, and that will ensure that under all circumstances the edge will be giving you superiority, so that the target cannot escape or hiding behind a hill or trying to go low suddenly. Such situations we can combat very successfully. And fortunately, we are able to do a proper system engineering so that the same missile with the same length and size and weight is able to handle the RF seeker also. And the same launcher can carry the missiles, whether Akash or Akash Prime, it can carry the same missile. And the user will have the total freedom and flexibility to load a launcher with a mix of Akash and Akash Prime, and the onboard or a ground-based command center will take a decision. It can take autonomous decision or a commander-induced decision to use either Akash or Akash Prime, because the same protocols are there, and this gives a hell of a lot of confidence, flexibility, customization for the Army or the Air Force who want to use this Akash and Akash Prime. They are the same breed, they are from the same breed. Each has one has slight edge, another, and of course, as you can understand, Akash Prime will be, because of that small edge, it will be little expensive, and Akash will be little lower cost. That's it. Otherwise, it is a beautiful piece of engineering work.
Okay, that was Dr. Prahalada Ramarao, the man who headed the Akash project. So he's been a part of the Akash project, was tasked to do that by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. The entire podcast will be put up on republicworld.com. It's critical what he says vis-a-vis China and why it gives us the edge. Moving on now. Republic TV has accessed the full charge sheet against Robert Vadra, who's the accused number one in the money laundering case. We've accessed details through this charge sheet of what and how Robert Vadra, through the Haryana land scam, laundered money. Okay, the charge sheet talks about Vadra receiving 58 crore as proceeds of crime. The money was routed through two channels. One, a sum of 5 crore was routed through Blue Breeze Trading Private Limited. Point number two, 53 crore routed through Skylight Hospitality Private Limited. Vadra used these funds to acquire immovable properties and make investments, settle loans. 38 crore worth properties were linked to Vadra and have now been seized. That's nearly 43 properties we are hearing. What Vadra owns, we know about his land in Bikaner, Rajasthan, units in Good Earth City Centre, Gurugram, units in Best Tech Business Tower in Mohali, residential units in J. Ambe Township in Ahmedabad. Real Earth Estates Private Limited owns these properties, and also MS Skylight Realty Private Limited. Shavan, with details of the charge sheet, he's got details of it with him. Shavan, it was a sweet deal, and it's been going on for several years. Finally, the charge sheet has been filed. Can you take us a little bit through what the charge sheet details out, which is new, and secondly, what next in this case?
Well, in fact, 11 people have been charge sheeted. Robert Vadra happens to be accused number one. A land which was purchased for about 3.5 crores was finally sold off for about 58 crore rupees to DLF. This company, that is Skylight Hospitality Private Limited, linked to Robert Vadra, purchased the land for about 3.5 crores, then sold it off to Unkareshwar Properties, and that was for 7.5 crore rupees. And finally, the same very land parcel was sold off for about 58 crore rupees. Now, according to this particular charge sheet, as far as the money, the proceeds of crime that was routed to Robert Vadra was about 58 crore rupees. They have basically put out details of how Robert Vadra has actually received the money or the proceeds of crime. 5 crore rupees was actually routed through a company named Blue Breeze Trading Private Limited, and about 53 crore rupees was routed through Skylight Hospitality Private Limited, a company that has been linked to him. The other important point is that apart from buying immovable properties, we are given to understand statement that Robert Vadra has used the proceeds of crime for buying land in Bikaner, units in Gujarat city centre, which you already mentioned. Apart from that, he's bought land in Faridabad, plots in Mayfield in Gurugram, commercial units in Centrum Plaza in Gurugram, commercial units again in Gurugram, commercial units in Indo-Export Mart in Noida, an apartment in Gurugram, land in Bikaner and a commercial space in Noida. Now these are claims that have been made by the Enforcement Directorate in the charge sheet that has been filed. But remember, this happens to be the first charge sheet that has been filed against Robert Vadra. There are about 3 cases that have been registered, or for that matter, which is being probed by the Enforcement Directorate. But this is one case where the Enforcement Directorate believes that they have enough evidence against Robert Vadra.
Shravan, thank you for joining us with those details. In fact, those details came into our newsrooms a short while back. It's a charge sheet which we have accessed, the entire charge sheet. They called it Damat Shri, the Damat scam, etc. And Robert Vadra finally has been charge sheeted. Very strangely, Rahul Gandhi has come out and defended Robert Vadra, saying that my brother-in-law is innocent. Story is developing. Thanks for watching. This is exclusive.